Michael Jordan just defeated NASCAR in a federal courtroom. He won permanent charters, a seat at the table, and the foundation of a racing dynasty. But there is one thing his victory could not buy him, and that one thing is currently driving the number 97 Chevrolet for another man's team. His name is Shane Van Gisbergen. And buried inside his contract is a phrase that could change everything through at least 2027. Pay attention to those two words, at least. That is the crack in the door. Because when that contract clock hits zero, two of the most ambitious men in motorsport will be standing on opposite sides of the same irreplaceable asset, and the future of NASCAR could depend on which way one man from Auckland, New Zealand, decides to walk. To understand why Michael Jordan is even in this position, we have to go back to December 11th, 2025. After 9 days of a bruising federal trial in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports settled their massive antitrust lawsuit against NASCAR. The two teams got their combined 6 charters back for 2026. Even bigger, NASCAR agreed to issue an amendment to all existing charter holders that includes a form of evergreen charters, meaning charters for all teams will now be permanent. Teams will now see revenue from NASCAR's international media rights deal, and teams will be paid 1/3 of any new NASCAR deals involving the team's intellectual property. An economist had testified during the trial that NASCAR owed 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports $364.7 million in damages, and that NASCAR shorted 36 chartered teams $1.06 billion from 2021 to 2024. NASCAR settled before the jury ever got the chance to decide. And when it was over, Michael Jordan and NASCAR chairman Jim France stood side by side on the steps of the federal courthouse. Michael Jordan said, "I've said this from day one, the only way this sport is going to grow is we have to find some synergy between the two entities. I think we've gotten to that point. Unfortunately, it took 16 months to get here. But I think level heads have gotten us to this point where we can actually work together and grow this sport." Jim France responded, "I do feel the same, and we can get back to focusing on what we really love, and that's racing." Denny Hamlin, co-owner of 2311 Racing, made the ambition crystal clear when he said, "I feel like everything within this settlement is going to grow the sport, and it's going to be better for everyone, no doubt about it." And in the official joint statement, Michael Jordan revealed exactly what this fight was really about. From the beginning, this lawsuit was about progress. He spoke of a foundation to build equity and invest in the future and a stronger voice in the decisions ahead. Read between those lines. Michael Jordan did not spend 16 months and millions of dollars in legal fees to finish mid-pack. He fought that war to build something permanent, a dynasty. He now has stability. He now has equity. What he does not have is a championship cheat code. And in modern NASCAR, there is exactly one of those on the planet. Look at the numbers, because they are genuinely absurd. In his 2025 Rookie Cup Series season, Shane Van Gisbergen won 5 of 6 road and street course races. He won the inaugural Mexico City race, the Chicago Street Race, and Sonoma Raceway. He became the winningest foreign-born driver in NASCAR Cup Series history. He is tied for most wins in a rookie season, and he is the fastest driver to 3 wins in the modern era. He also became tied for 3 consecutive road course wins from pole position, and he is the first New Zealander ever to win a Cup Series race. According to the analytics, Shane Van Gisbergen owns the highest winning percentage on road courses in Cup Series history at 33.3%, along with the highest average driver rating at 113. 8. Numbers that already place him in the greatest of all-time conversation alongside Jeff Gordon, Cale Yarborough, and Marcos Ambrose. As NASCAR's own analysis put it, Van Gisbergen already has the resume to be taken seriously in that conversation. Just a few years and fewer than 10 road races into his Cup career. Then in 2026, he backed it all up. At Sonoma Raceway, Shane Van Gisbergen led 59 laps and became the first driver since 2019 to go back-to-back at the track, holding off a stacked field that included Chase Briscoe and Kyle Larson. and he did it in a car that was fighting him. In his own words, it did the opposite. It made them worse. That wasn't good. We were really hanging on, and Chase Briscoe at the end was really fast driving. I'm lucky it wasn't 2 laps longer. He might have got us. Now, to be completely fair, 2026 has not been perfect at the Naval Base Coronado Street Race in San Diego. Shane Van Gisbergen was running third on a lap 32 restart when Austin Hill clipped the inside retaining wall and slammed into fellow Trackhouse racing driver Connor Zeilish, triggering a wreck that left Van Gisbergen with nowhere to escape. He finished 38th, fell 3 spots to 17th in the chase standings, and lost 15 points against the cut line. But listen to how he responded. The best thing about the sport is it either brings you back down to earth pretty quickly or picks you back up. You can race the next weekend and reset. 1 week later, he won Sonoma. Even a cheat code has bad days, but that single bad day proves exactly why the road courses matter more than ever. They are the guaranteed points machine, and Van Gisbergen needs them just as badly as any owner needs him. And here is the strategic bomb that makes everything more urgent. In January 2026, NASCAR announced a return to the Chase Championship format across all 3 national series. The elimination playoffs are gone. Now the top 16 drivers in points qualify for a 10-race postseason. And the driver with the most points at the end of the season is the champion. The win and you are in rule is dead. Race winners now collect 55 points, a 15-point increase, roughly 37% more than before. NASCAR President Steve O'Donnell explained the philosophy. We wanted it to be something the fans would embrace. We wanted it to reward consistency throughout all of the 36 races. But it was also really important for winning to matter. Think about what that means for a driver who nearly automatically wins 5 or 6 road and street course races every single season. Under this format, Shane Van Gisbergen banks massive guaranteed points hauls that no other driver on the grid can match. On top of that, for 2026, NASCAR moved 5 more tracks, including Bristol Motor Speedway, onto the short track and road course aero package. The sport is quietly bending toward his exact skill set. Every rule change that adds road course weight to the championship adds another 0 to his price tag and another sleepless night for whichever owner does not have him locked down. Which brings us to the man standing in Michael Jordan's way, Justin Marks, the founder and owner of Trackhouse Racing. Justin Marks is on record calling Shane Van Gisbergen the best road course stock car racer that I've ever seen. And he went even further. I think when he's done with us all and walks away from the sport, I think he's going to walk away as the best road course racer that this sport has ever seen. This is not just an owner praising a driver. This is a relationship built on the biggest gamble in modern NASCAR history. Justin Marks created Project 91 in 2022 to bring international racing stars into the Cup Series. In July 2023, he handed a one-off Chicago street race seat to a 3-time Supercars champion nobody in America believed in. Shane Van Gisbergen won that race by 259 seconds in overtime, becoming the first driver since Johnny Rutherford in 1963 to win his very first Cup Series start. Justin Marks has even admitted Trackhouse Racing might not be a 3-car team today without that victory. And Van Gisbergen knows exactly what he owes. When he signed his multi-year contract extension in August 2025, he said, "I feel like Trackhouse Racing is my home." He added, "Trackhouse gave me the opportunity to race at Chicago in 2023. That was just a one-race deal, and everything that has happened since then is because of the chance Justin took on me." But listen carefully to what else he said at Watkins Glen that same month. "I don't really know. I haven't thought about it. I definitely have a lot of years left in me. And then this, I'm a long way from home. I'll move back there as soon as I'm done racing, but yeah, to answer your question, there's no timeline. I'm happy here for now. Happy here for now, no timeline. Those are not the words of a man who has closed every door. So here is the collision course." On one side, Justin Marks, the believer who took the punt, whose entire team identity is built around the man from Auckland. On the other side, Michael Jordan, 6 championship rings, a billionaire, a man who just proved in a federal courtroom that he does not back down from anyone, now armed with a permanent charter and a burning need for the one asset money has not yet bought. And here is the tension nobody is saying out loud. The better Shane Van Gisbergen performs, the harder it becomes for Trackhouse Racing to keep him, and the more desperate a heavyweight like Michael Jordan becomes to land him. Success is the very thing that could tear this partnership apart. From now through 2027, every road course is a live audition. Chicago, where the legend was born. Sonoma, where he has gone back-to-back. Watkins Glen, Mexico City. Every dominant win adds pressure to a contract clock that is already ticking. There is one wild card, Connor Zilisch, the young phenom now driving the number 88 for Trackhouse Racing. Does having the next superstar in the building make Shane Van Gisbergen more expendable? Or is the Van Gisbergen and Zilisch pairing the exact dynasty Michael Jordan wishes he owned? So the 2027 ultimatum comes down to 2 choices. Option 1, loyalty. Stay with Justin Marks, the man who believed first, and chase a championship for the team that took the punt when nobody else would. Option 2, the gamble. Answer the call from Michael Jordan, bigger money, a global brand. An owner who does not accept second place and the chance to become the crown jewel of an icon's dynasty. The man who made you versus the man who could immortalize you. And the final question, the one that keeps me up at night, what happens if Shane Van Gisbergen says no to Michael Jordan? Does Trackhouse Racing start a spending war it cannot afford? Does a third team swoop in while the Giants are distracted? Or does he do the most Kiwi thing possible, stay loyal and win a title for the little team that believed? Loyalty or gamble? Drop your call in the comments because I read every single one and I will feature the best arguments in the next video. I am out. Catch you at Watkins Glen.